guys, and welcome to another video. My name is Ritika, and today we are going to be learning about Python GUI Tkinter basics. So let's get started. First of all, the table of contents. So what are we going to be doing today? So first we're going to be learning about what is Python GUI, what is Tkinter. Then we're going to be learning about how to import Tkinter. Then we're going to be doing, looking at two main methods in Tkinter. Then we're going to be looking at widget classes. Then we're going to be doing 3 geometry manager classes and looking at that. And then finally, we are going to be creating our first GUI. So let's get started. First of all, what is Python GUI? What is Python Tkinter? So GUI in Python means graphical user interface. A GUI is an interface that is drawn on the screen for the user to interact with. So basically, a GUI is an interface that is drawn on the screen for the user to interact with. So things that the user can interact with. Out of all the GUI methods, Tkinter is the most commonly used one. Or Python with Tkinter is the fastest and easiest way to create the GUI application. So if you ask any coder out there who does Python, you can ask them which is the most common GUI method, and they'll all say Tkinter. Tkinter is very common, and it's also really easy and fast to use, especially if you're doing big applications, for example creating a website. Tkinter is going to be so easy and so fast, and it'll just it ultimately is one of the best methods for GUIs. So we are going to be learning all about GUIs and also Tkinter. So first of all, how to import Tkinter. So if you guys haven't seen my previous video about modules and Python modules, you should really go check it out because it's gonna help a lot with importing modules and stuff. But if you have seen it already, it's pretty much the same as any other module in Python. You would just put import Tkinter, or from Tkinter import asterisk, which is all. And note that the name of Python the name of the module in Python 2.x is Tkinter with a capital T, but in Python 3.x it is Tkinter with the lowercase t. So most nowadays, if you're using Tkinter, you would put lowercase t. So that is importing Tkinter. Now we're going to be looking at two main methods that are really important when creating the Python application with GUI. So we have tk screen name equal none, base name equal none, class name equal tk, and use tk equal 1, and then main loop. So what are these methods? We're going to be looking at that right now. So first of all, to create the main window, Tkinter offers a method, which is the first one that I just read out. And basically, so in a GUI, you'll have your widgets, which will come in a later slide of what a widget is. But you'll have your widgets, and in that you need a big window, and then inside that window will come all of the widgets and all of the graphical user interface items. So you first need a big main window. So that main window is this, and this is how you create that big window. So first you would just use this method, and then to change the name of the window, you can change the class name to the desired one. So for example, this is our main window object, so we can put m equals tkinter.tk, and then where m is the name of the main window object. So that is the first main method in Tkinter. The next one is, there is a method known by the name of main loop, and it is used when your application is ready to run. So usually main loop will be at the very end of your code. It's one of the last things in your code. So main loop is an infinite loop used to run the application, wait for an event to occur, and process the event as long as the window is not closed. So basically, it's just an infinite loop. So you always want main loop to be at the very end of your code. And if you see our previous slide, you can can see that m equals tkinter.tk was in our code. So because of that, we need to put m dot main loop. So that is the second main method in TK. Or in Tkinter. So these two methods are extremely important, and they're always gonna come when you're using Tkinter. So now some widget classes. So I was talking about widgets in the previous slide and saying how like a widget will be in the main window. So what is a widget? So a widget, or like a graphical widget, also a graphical control element or control, in a graphical user interface is an element of interaction such as a button or scroll bar. So for example, let's say in your main window you have a button or like a label saying like this is a button and there's a button. So that would be an example of a widget. So your main window, and then in that window would be your widgets. So here I have 3 slides with descriptions to all sorts of widgets and all the basic widgets. I'm not going to read them all out loud because that would take way too much time. So I will link this slideshow in the description below, so you guys can refer to this on your own time. But I will say a couple of main ones and important ones. So we have text. It allows the user to edit multi-line text and format the way it does has to be displayed. We also have label. It is used to display text or images on the screen. We have button. It is used to add buttons to your application. We have a check button. It allows a number of options to the user as toggle buttons, from which users can select any number of options. Then we have the radio button, which is used to implement one of many selections, as it allows only one option to be selected. So the check button and the radio button are kind of like polar opposites, because the check button only allows, or it allows like multiple like options to be selected, while the radio button only allows one option to be selected. We have the scroll bar. It is used to scroll down the contents. It provides a slider control. So those are the main widgets, and now we're going to be looking at 3 geometry manager classes. So Tkinter also offers access to the geometric configuration of widgets, which can organize the widgets in the parent windows. There are mainly 3 geometry manager classes. So basically, we have all these widgets. So for example, let's say in one main window you have a button and a label. For example, let's say we want the button to be right next to the like label, or let's say you want the window, or let's say you want the label and the button to be in the middle of the screen. So like helping with all these like area, like if you want like your widgets to be in a certain area or location, you would use one of these methods. So you can see the pack method. It organizes the widgets in blocks before placing them into the parent widget. The grid method, it organizes the widgets in grid table-like structure before placing in the parent widget. And place, it organizes the widgets by placing them on a specific position directed by the programmer. So all of these methods really come in handy when you really want to be like, oh, where should I put this widget? Like these all come in handy, and we are going to be looking at the pack and grid method specifically when we are creating our first GUI. So, and that is the next slide. So we are going to be creating our GUIs. So now we know everything we need to know about GUIs. So this like slideshow is in the description, so you guys can always access this code and follow along with me as I create this GUI. So I'm going to be switching over to Visual Studios, and we can start coding. Okay guys, so now I am in Visual Studio. So we are going to be basically making a simple GUI that creates a window saying hello world using a label. So first of all, we are going to be importing Tkinter. So from Tkinter, import all. So after this, we are going to be creating the main parent window. Then we are going to be saying my label equal to label root, text equals hello world. And then we are just going to be packing that label. And then finally, we are going to be putting the main loop method. Okay, so this is our very simple GUI. Oh, and don't forget this T has to be uppercase. I totally forgot about that. So this is our very simple GUI. And notice when we use the pack method, if we run the code, we should get a window. Okay. And you can see that hello world is in the middle, but if we also maximize our screen, it'll still be in the middle. That's what the pack method does. It'll always keep it in the middle, even if we resize our window. So that was our very first simple GUI. We are also going to be creating a very similar GUI with the grid method. So this is similar to the first GUI, except we use the grid method. So I'm going to be just deleting this. Well, I don't need to delete this. I'll just delete this part. So we're going to be putting my label 1 equals to label 1 or label root, and then text is equal to hello world, and that is our first label. Now we have our second label, so label 2 is equal to label and then same stuff. So root text equals hello world. So these are our two labels. And now we are going to be like placing these. So using the grid method, we are going to be placing them in specific locations. So we can see right here that for the grid method, you will need to specify rows and columns. So as I'm doing right now, you would just specify the rows and columns, and I'm going to just be copying and pasting. And here I can change the row to 1. So what this will do is it'll have label 1 on the top and label 2 right under it. So if we run our function, or if we run our program and let it load, you can see we have hello world right under it. So this is pretty much the same GUI, except we are using the grid method. So this is everything you need to know. These are like the basics to GUIs and Tkinter. So I'm going to be coming back to the slideshow so we can just review everything we have learned. So guys, we have created this GUI, and we also created this one as well. You can check the code again if you ever want to refer back to the code by clicking the slideshow in the description. But to review everything, we learned about what Python GUIs are and what Tkinter is. We learned about how to import Tkinter. We learned about 2 main methods in Tkinter. We learned about widget classes. We did 3 geometry manager classes. We looked at that, and then finally we created our first GUIs. So thank you for watching, and if you guys ever have any questions or concerns or future video ideas, comment below. I would really appreciate it if you guys left any video ideas or any like queries you have about a certain topic, so I could make a new video about it. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys liked this video. Comment down below any ideas you have. Share this video with friends and family. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.